on that whenever you'd like. I too am gonna do this with you. So it's curling the chin, curling the shoulders forward, getting that rounded back, reaching down to the ground, back up. When you go back up, you do want to kind of follow the same pattern as you do when you go down. So as you go up, it's straightening that lower back, then the upper back, bring the shoulder blades back, and then untuck the chin. So really nice, slow, controlled movement. You shouldn't be just ripping down towards the ground. That's how you potentially could hurt your back. And obviously, we don't want to do that, especially not this soon into the workout. Again, once you do 5, you're then going to do 5 per side, a reverse lunge. This is just stepping back, touching that knee down towards the ground. Take these ones nice, slow and controlled as well. You don't want to rush through them. You just want to make sure body feels warmed up. And then your shoulder taps. Once again, 5 per side. And then back into those Jeffersons. I should aim my camera a little bit better. Once you are done all of this, you can give me a thumbs up emoji on your screen, however you do that. I still have not figured that out. Or you can just mention something in the chat, and then we'll get going into our first circuit today. Now, if anybody has looked at the first circuit today, it may look a little daunting, but I promise you, it's not actually that bad. It's just a lot of high rep movements. Now, obviously, if you need some modifications, by all means, go ahead and ask. But otherwise, I'm going to trust everybody's doing it. Yeah, and we're just going to do 2 rounds of that. Then we'll get going. I don't think I've seen any thumbs up emoji from John, just as I was about to say it. Brian is done. Awesome. Now again, something we don't have to rush through here today, just because we got tons of time. Alicia's done. Now, in regards to the first circuit, the other thing is there is no time constriction on it. But essentially, the last thing that we're going to do requires about 15 minutes to do it. I did put a timer onto that one, so you wouldn't have seen it in your True Coach. It is something just on my side of things. That's something I kind of decided to do afterwards. But essentially, it's going to take us about 15 minutes. We're going to change things up a little bit. Still doing all the same movements that are in your True Coach. However, this means now we're a little bit more time restricted. So with the first circuit that we do, if we are not done by 12:40, we're going to cut it there. But I have a feeling we will be done by then. Tim, I haven't seen anything from you yet. I don't know if you're done or if you're just still going. But I'll give you about another minute. Oh, there's the thumbs up. Here we go. Okay, so Going to bring up our screen share again. I'm going to show you guys what the first circuit looks like. So first circuit, we've got 5 different movements that we're going to go through for today. I'll say the movements first and then I'm going to demo them just to kind of make it a little bit easier for you guys to see me because it's not so big on this split screen. You are starting off with 20 alternating half Turkish get-ups. This can be done with a book, water bottle. This could even be done with just your fist in the air. It can be done with a dumbbell, kettlebell, anything that kind of adds a little bit of resistance to get some core activation. After that, you have 30 alternating windmills. Again, this is 30 total, so we're looking at 15 per side. After that, it will be 40 per side of slow controlled cross-body mountain climbers. We're not going for the aerobic piece here. We are going more for the core piece. So I'll again show you how to do those here in a second. After that, 50 tall kneeling to standing. That's 25 per side. That seems like a lot, and yes, it is a lot, but we're just working at a nice steady pace. So we're not trying to build up a huge sweat here. You'll see underneath that, I do have box step ups or air squats for modifications. If tall kneeling to standing is not something you're comfortable with and you don't feel like you're getting a whole lot out of it, you can do any of those 2 variations. If you're doing the box step ups, it's 25 per side. If you're doing the air squats, it is 50 total air squats. And then lastly, 60 beast to alternating leg throughs. Again, I'm going to show you those here in a second. We are looking at about doing 2 to 3 rounds. Again, it's going to depend kind of where we are in time. I'm going to do this with you guys, so we'll at least, I'll be keeping an eye on the time, but if I notice that things are starting to catch up to us a little bit, we'll cut it wherever we happen to be. But essentially, we should all be kind of around the same place unless some of us, me, take a little bit longer of a break. I'll turn screen share off here for a sec. I'm going to go through those movements again, just so you guys can actually see them now. The half Turkish get-ups. If you're holding something like a dumbbell or a book or a water bottle or something in your hand, what you're going to do, that hand goes up to the sky. The same knee stays up. The opposite leg goes flat. From here, what we're going to do now, sorry, I'm trying to figure out my microphone here because I don't want to lose it. From here, you're going to press up and then into a sit-up position. Down onto the elbow and back down. I'll show you it on this side as well, just so you can see both sides in action. So one hand goes out. You're going to press up onto the elbow and then do a full sit-up. It's down and down. Sorry, I think I may have lost you guys a bit there. After your half Turkish get-ups, we have alternating windmills. Again, this can be done either as just body weight or if you want to hold a dumbbell up overhead. It's going to be really hard for you guys to see the dumbbell overhead because it's such a tall picture at this point. But a dumbbell goes up overhead or something goes up overhead. You're going to bend one leg, kick that hip back. This leg stays straight. You're going to run your hand down the leg. Again, run your hand down the leg. It does say alternating, but if you really want to do all on one side, you can. Our third one is our mountain climbers, the slow controlled ones. So you're going to be in this tall position and you're going to bring one leg across, then the other leg across. It would make a lot easier if I didn't have a cat there. So again, it's nice, slow, and controlled. We're not going for speed. After that, you have your tall kneeling stand-ins or your box step-ups or your air squats. For those ones, you're here, you're stand, and back down. It's 25 per side, so it is a lot, but we've got time for it. And then the last one is your beast to alternating leg throughs. Show it from the side first. You're going to be in a beast position, which just means knees up off the ground, and you are going to kick a leg through and sit down. And then you come back. You're going to kick a leg through and back. Now, if I do it from the front, what you guys will see is where the leg goes. So you're going to turn to the sides. It's also less awkward when I don't kick stuff. You're going to kick a leg through and sit down. Does anybody have any questions of that? Brian, you don't need your cat. Mine just happens to get in the way every time. Anyways, even if Brian is going to go grab his cat, we will get started with that. So what I might do, just so you guys can see it again, is bring up that screen share so you at least know what you're doing. And then you guys can get started whenever. Again, I'm going to join you guys. I'm going to make sure I get the workout in today as well. But you are good to go. So again, for those Turkish get-ups, it is hand up in the air. You press up and then sit up. If we are doing 20 reps, we are doing 10 per side. I know it says alternated. I'm gonna do all on one side first. After I have a cat attack me again. And next round, I will add my weight back to that. I forgot about it this round. Now, something John does really good with this is he'll always be watching his hand. So even if you don't have anything in there, pretend like your eyes are fixated on that hand. You're constantly looking at it. That's how you know the hand stays up overhead. And if you're moving into the windmills, I know I am, you've got that nice wide stance. You're gonna pop one hip back, hand goes up, and then it's hand down the side of the inner thigh. This one is 15 per side. Essentially, you're just going to your range of motion. Same thing with this one. If you want to, you can watch your hand as you do it. But just make sure you keep your hand up overhead. Now, you guys don't have to struggle with headphones like I am. If you guys are moving on to your mountain climbers, it is that cross-body action. So we are looking right knee to left elbow. And nice, slow and controlled. Not too quick here. You guys can rest as you need. I'm taking a short little rest here. Once you guys are done your, oh, it's 40 per side. Well then, good thing I re-looked at that. It's not 20 per side, it's 40 per side. Holy, I'm only halfway done that. If I said anything else during the warm-up and I wasn't right on that, that's just bad reading on my behalf. But it is 40 per side, not 20 per side. Then you have your tall kneeling stand. So if you are moving on to those already, good for you. I'm going to be a little bit behind. Again, if anybody has any questions, by all means, drop it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself quickly, ask the question, and I'll address it. Pen in my headphones, don't fall off. Now again, rest as you guys need here. Those mountain climbers are actually a little bit harder than I thought they were going to be. So take your time with them. No rush to get through them. Then if you are done them, moving on to the tall kneeling stands. You can do either a prisoner variation where hands stay behind the head, or you can put your hands on your hips and do them that way. I don't think there's any significant difference to doing them. Now again, these ones will take us a while, so no need to rush through them unless you have opted for one of the other exercises. It might go a little bit quicker. I don't know about anybody else. My legs are starting to burn from these. I don't know if it's because of all my extra workouts that I've been doing, or if it's because these actually burn the legs that much. I'm taking a short little rest. Now again, if you're one of those people that can do absolutely everything without resting, by all means, go for it. But if you're like me, you need a little bit of rest. Take it. Ooh, those ones are tricky. Tricky tough. You then have your beast to alternate and leg through. It is just 30 per side. What's alternative to number 5? Brian, can you just not do them, or is it bug in the shoulder? Not very well. The one alternative I have going for Tim right now is because we are looking at kind of the articulation of the shoulder in this one. We want something that's going to take our shoulders through a range of motion. So what I have him doing right now is arrested Supermans. We've done these ones before in gym, in the class. Your hands start on top of the head. You're going to bring them down to your low back and then back up. If you're doing those, you're doing 60 of them. It is a lot, but it's going to take you probably around the same amount of time as the beast to alternate and leg throughs. Brian, I'm glad that works for you. If anybody else needs to do that modification as well, by all means, go for it. But you really just want to focus on the shoulder with that one, not so much the leg through piece. This is a lot of them. Holy. But essentially, for today, we want all of these movements feeling perfect. Some of them aren't. Let me know. But we want to make sure we're feeling each and every single movement. We're not just doing them as fast as we can. Oh, short little break here for me. I'm not even halfway through those beast to leg throughs. I'm only 20 in. Not 20 per side, it's 20 total. That's what I mean about time. These are definitely going to take a little bit of time. So by all means, do not rush through them. Do not feel like you have to absolutely crush this workout. This workout, once again, it's all about just how you're moving, how you're feeling, and all that goodness. If you break a sweat, you break a sweat. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. Not all workouts have to be sweat inducing. Unless you're Brian. I think in that case, every workout has to be dripping. I got you, Brian. Now I hope Alicia's also laughing at that comment. Though I don't know, has she ever seen Brian working out in person? If she hasn't, I tell you, it is a beautiful sight. Takes runner up for, or close competition for sweatiest man in our gym. And that is a challenge to have. Nothing wrong with it. It means he works hard all the time, all day long. Is anybody else getting dizzy from these beasts? Hopefully not. I don't know if that means I'm going too fast, if I should slow it down, or if I'm actually getting dizzy. Maybe I'm just trying too hard. I have about 10 more to go. That's 10 total, not. You're getting ditzy. Thanks, John. You're so kind. Just kidding. Get back to work. You shouldn't have time to chat. I'm only bugging you. You're probably on to your second round, whereas I am not. If you are moving on to your second round, you're back to those half Turkish get-ups. Again, keeping your eye on your hands at all times. That way you know kind of where your posture is. And we're gonna do this for about another 10 minutes. That took, I think, 12 minutes for me to get through one round. It's a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be, so good job, everyone. Keep up. You're doing good. Moving back into half Turkish get-ups. That one hand stays up above the head. Eyes on the prize. Now, a nice, easier day like today is something we all need once in a while, because recovery is very important. If we under recover, we see that deterioration of performance and other stuff like sleep. We don't want to lose sleep. We all love sleep. At least I know I do. And Brian, Jack really loves sleep. I know that. But if he's still asleep right now, that's impressive. You should have woken him up for the class. Get him going. Get him into this. Just don't let him rip your head off. That's the only thing. Got about 7 more minutes to go here. I'm moving back into my windmills. once you're done those windmills, back to those crossbody mountain climbers. These are the ones that took me the longest last time, so hopefully it does not take me that long this time. Again, if you need to, grab some water, stay hydrated. All very important things. Taking a short little rest here. Still got about 5 more minutes to go. Keep pushing through, everybody. Then after this circuit, today we are going to do a lot of controlled articular rotations. So just making sure a lot of our joints are moving in the way we want them to through nice controlled patterns. Controlled being the key word. Now, by luck, if anybody is done this circuit, I don't think anybody is. We are only going to do at most 2, or if you are speedy, you're already on your 3rd, stay on your 3rd. But we've got 4 more minutes to go, and then we're going to jump into some of those controlled articular rotations. Yeah, this round I'm just going to opt for the 50 air squats. I want to get a little bit more work in, so I'm going. Now that's the other thing. If you want a little bit more work and you don't want to do those tall kneeling stands, 50 air squats is going to be a lot. That is another thing you can do. Or if you want to make the air squats even harder, jump squats or jump split squats. Ooh, that's mean. Sorry, I shouldn't make you guys do that. Got about 2 more minutes. Keep it up, keep going, keep pushing through here. And then if you are done those leg ones, you're moving on to the beast to alternating leg throughs. I'm just watching the clock, just making sure we do not go over kind of that time period that I want to be at. But we are almost done. Less than a minute to go. Give you guys a little bit of a rest here while I kind of explain the next couple pieces. But once I see my clock hit 12:40, we're calling it where we are, even if you're midway through a circuit. That's fine. But we're going to take that rest so that we can get ready for kind of the last little piece, last 15 minutes or so. Good job, everyone. Finish up what you can. And you guys can rest. So stop what you're doing at this point. I'm going to bring up the next piece of our workout. It's 45 seconds of work per side. It works out to be around 15 minutes of stuff that we're going to do. If my math is correct, a minute 50 per, or sorry, a minute 30 per. Wow. We've got 10 things. Yeah, about 15 minutes here. So what you guys are going to do, CAR stands for controlled articular rotations. Now we're going to go through a whole full body one, but we're going to go through it segmented at a time. So the movements that we're going to complete today are, well, I'm going to explain them first, then I'm going to demo them. We're going to go through the neck articular rotations, T-spine, so the upper portion of your spine, shoulder rotations, as well as scapular retraction and rotation, elbows, wrists, hips from a standing position. We also have tibial rotations as well as knee rotations. They are going to be one and the same essentially, but we're going to do that as a prone position. Then we have ankle inversion versus eversion. We can do both sides at the same time, so I'm not too concerned about that one. And then lastly, toes. Yeah, toes, because we all know how much of a role the toes actually do play into some movements we do, such as squats, deadlifting. You got to be able to grip the ground. So I'm going to turn screen share off for a second here. And what I'm going to do is show you each and every single one of those movements. So for the neck, you're going to be in a tall kneeling position. You're going to take your neck, you're going to rotate it to one side. You're going to rotate around in a circle, nice, slow and controlled. We're going to do that for 45 seconds, and then we'll switch sides. The next one that you guys have is T-spine. So what you're going to do, hands cross over top, and they go on your shoulders. Then from here, what you're going to do, I'm going to do this so that I don't muffle the voice. We are going to rotate back and then bring our shoulders forward, bring our back, bring them forward. You're going to do that for 45 seconds each direction. Then you have shoulder rotations. For these ones, oddly enough, what you want to do, you want to really flex your lats, really try and puff them out. From here, you're going to take one arm at a time. You're going to slowly bring it up overhead. When you get here, you're going to turn your hand out and then back, down, clench into a fist. Back, here, you turn, and then rotate through the rest of the way. You're going to do that on both sides. For our scapula, we've done these ones before. Arms go out in front. You're going to bring the shoulders up to the ears, back down, around, and forward. Then opposite direction. Next one is elbows. For your elbows, we're going to start with palms facing up. We're going to do a bicep curl, turn our palms, and then bicep curl out. Palms in, up, down. For the wrists, elbows at 90 degrees. And from here, we're going to move the wrists in a fashion where they go kind of in any really rotational manner. Then you guys have hips from a standing position. So for these ones, You're gonna stand up. You're gonna bring one knee up. You're gonna rotate it out. You're gonna rotate till it's all the way in the back. Then bring it back up. From the side view, what that looks like, it's up. You rotate it out. You rotate it till we're bent, knee in the back, and then just drive that knee forward. Then we have tibial rotations and or knee articulation. You're going to be on a lay-in position. You're going to bend the one leg. You're going to twist the knee or the foot outwards. You're going to bring it back down to the ground. Bring it back in, bring it up, twist out, and then back. These ones you can do both sides at the same time. If you would like to get out of here a little bit faster, that's fine. Then we've got ankles. You're going to be in a seated position. Again, these ones can be done at the same time as well. From here, you're going to point the toes out. You're going to rotate, bring them back in together. Out, rotate, in. We do have 45 seconds the other direction. So you go out and then in. Out and then in. And then lastly, toes, you take your socks off or you take your feet off, and then it's just toes up, toes down, big toe up, toes down, all toes up, toes down. Sounds weird, but it's going to be beneficial. So what I'm going to do for you guys now, I'm actually going to take my shoes off for this whole thing. I'm going to bring it back up to screen share. I'm going to share a timer, and then I will go over the movements with you guys. So don't worry about what you're missing, because I will be kind of guiding you through that one. Oh, that is not the right timer. That is the right timer. So our neck articular rotation, toe wrestling. Brian, no, we are not doing that. Neck rotation starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Now you're gonna see in the red box, it says rest. Ignore that. And again, we want to take these nice and slow. We don't want to overdo anything. We don't want to go too quick on these ones. You might pinch something if you go a little too quick. So take it nice and slow. We're not aiming for any particular amount of reps here. Just that nice controlled movement. One direction for now. And once that it's one, we are going to switch directions. Again, just nice, slow, and controlled. It does not matter how many reps you guys get in here. It does not matter how quickly you get them done. Just doing the movements. Next, we go into those T-spine rotations. So that's the one. Hands are on the shoulders. We're gonna rotate back and then forward. We're doing all in one direction to start. Sure, at this point, all you guys can hear is clinking and clacking of my headphones because they're just so bulky. And in 7 seconds, we will move the other direction. You guys can sit back onto your heels if knees are getting a little uncomfortable there. I don't mind, we're starting to. You can go through. In 3, 2, 1, we are now moving on to our shoulders. So for the shoulder rotations, that's where we're here. Arm comes up overhead. We twist the palm and then back down the other way. Arm up overhead, twist that palm the other way. Now, as you can see, each rep does take a while. That's fine. Nothing says we have to do like 25 reps during this. And switch arms. If anybody's shoulders are bugging them, please know this is going to be something that kind of helps control your joints and gets a little bit of movement back into them. But you do not have to go to extreme ranges of motion. Just do what is comfortable for you. And we're now moving into scapular rotations. So that's arms up, shoulders back and down, and then rotate forward. If you have something that you want to hold in between your hands, say a light dumbbell, 10 might be too heavy, but even like a water bottle, press your hands together and then shoulders back and down. Now we're going the opposite direction. So we want to go from down to up and out, down, up, out, down, up, out. Now, during all this, you do want to find a position you are comfortable with. So if you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, this doesn't feel comfortable anymore, obviously, like, find something that works for you. You don't have to be seated like I am. You don't have to be standing or kneeling, whatever you need. We are moving on to elbows. So that's the one where we're here, palms facing up, close the elbow, palms turn to face down, and then back down, palms up and back down. If you want to try and get a little bit more range of motion, what you can do is continue to rotate your elbows, bring them up, then back down. And by elbows, I meant wrists and back down. So it's that extreme rotation, elbows up and then down. Next, we move on to the wrists. We are going in a circle with the wrists. Now, just as a little bit of a closer view up, what I'll show you guys is here, my wrist rotates and then up. It's down, rotates and down, up, rotates. After this one, we do move on to those hips in 4, 3, 2, 1. This one is knee comes up, rotate out, squeeze in the glute, and drive that knee up. Now, for any of you that have a little bit extra mobility, you might be able to kind of kick that leg back a little bit more, but we're trying not to sacrifice that low back. So just go to where you feel that hip control. Now, hopefully nobody's cramping. I keep getting a cramp, but I'm gonna work through it. And we're switching sides. So again, it's knee up, knee rotates out, continues to rotate, and back. We really want to try and avoid rotating ourselves. So we're just here to about there, and then it's rotate back. You can hold on to something for balance if you need it. But if you don't, that is perfectly fine. Next, we have our knee rotations. So if you guys want to do both at the same time, it's toes pointing in, bend the knees, toes pointing out, unbend. You can also do it in the reverse. I know I definitely went a little bit off time here because I've now made these pretty much both at the same time if you're doing that. If you're moving on to ankles, what you're going to do, again, it's toes pointing up. You're going to bring them down to the center, down to the ground, out, and then back. And we can go the other way with the ankles. Then we'll finish off with some toes. Unless you're still going. I don't know if everybody is just following me doing this or if somebody's just starting the ankles now. Either way, we've only got a few more minutes here. Now we're working on the toes, so it's bringing the toes up off the ground, the big toe up off the ground, and then all of them. Now, if you want a little bit of a fun challenge, you can try and do the wave with your foot. It's very difficult. I'll give it that. But it would be pinky toe and then all the other toes trying to come up off the ground. Ooh, that's challenging. But if not, again, it's just toes, big toe, all the toes, toes, big toe, all of them. Now, if you're still going, you might be in your last round, but some of us might be done already. I just finished up toes. That was the last thing I had to do. That took about 12 minutes there. So if you are done, cool, you're awesome. You're good to go. If you're still doing a little bit of controlled articular rotation, that's awesome. That's fine. Keep going. But if you are done, before you head out, say bye at least. At this point, I'd like to think everybody's still going. What did I miss? Did I miss something? Ooh, Brian just unmuted himself.
I think I'm done. I just followed you, so.
Okay. Nobody else has unmuted themselves.
No, I was following you too, Cory.
Perfect.
So we
Alicia,
all
thank
screwed
you.
up.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, John. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thanks. Those are good mods, Cory. Thanks. That I got lots of good movement there, so I was happy.
Hey, no problem, man. It's what we can do to kind of help you guys out and make sure everything continues moving well.
Well, like I said, I need all the help I can get. So anything extra is good.
Yeah, man. Fair enough. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you.